Alright, okay.
Okay, hey, here we go. Hey, good evening. This is Rodney Patnode, Blue Collar News. I got a fellow here who's running for lieutenant governor that I met several months ago when he was running for mayor. His name is Bobby June, and he'd like to say a few words, and we're going to ask him a few questions, and everybody's going to have a good time if you're interested, you know. Blue Collar News. You ready, Bobby?
Let's go.
You ready for the questions and the answer series?
Let's shoot. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, Bobby. I understand that you work for Henrico Recreations and Park as a commissioner. Could you explain to me exactly what that curtailed?
Certainly, and that really was my first step into the political realm. I turned the clock back. I'm 60 now, so I was about 28, 29, and Pat O'Bannon, one of the first females running for board in Henrico County, was a miss. She knocked on my door. She was really a miss, and I saw her and I said, you know, I think I can help her. Her campaign was fledgling. She didn't know what to do. I said, well, Pat, let me become part of the campaign. Let me be your campaign manager. Let's get things rolling. I know all the neighbors. I said, I feel like I can get you going in the right direction. So Pat agreed, and we went through, and first female elected on Henrico County Board of Supervisors. And then, Rodney, what happens is, if you're fortunate enough or you're successful enough to get somebody there, once she was on the, she called me the second time, and I said, well, you know, I'm happy you won. And she goes, well, Bobby, I enjoyed our relationship, and I'd like you to serve as my representative on different boards. And so the top board at that time, where the county was really expanding, going to do a lot of work, was Recreation Parks. She goes, please consider, come on board, and we can still work together. I said, okay, Pat. So, and Rodney, I had no idea, but that hello and that conversation would end up 10 years. Recreation Parks Commissioner with Henrico County, which is one board meeting per month. That's 120 board meetings. And my goodness, was I able to come into the political arena, not just knocking on doors getting votes, but seeing what the citizens wanted to do as opposed to what the county was planning, and we were able to work this out. Solutions where both parties, Henrico County and the citizen, were able to benefit from our relationship.
Yeah, that must have been very interesting. You also were a project manager for Habitat and Humanity in the area here, Richmond. They do good work. They do real good work. How did that go for you?
Well, that's another interesting ploy here. When I came into Habitat for Humanity, we were actually assembling lots, but they were decentralized, desegregated. And prior to that point in time, a lot of my work was as a real estate developer. I was used to finding properties, vacant nature property, and flipping it. We bring in the water, the sewer, the roads. I do the contracts with the builders and actually get the subdivision done. So we were picking up sites. I'd say we were getting 20 to 25 lots per site. Small or mid-sized, not very large, but enough to do the job. So when I got with Habitat for Humanity, we were in a little bit of a miss there, quandary. Habitat really needed more lots. We were getting 350 applicants, and we were only housing 25 people per year. Then I went to my good friend Alex Alexander, who has passed away at this point. But Alex was one of the largest apartment rental units in the Richmond metropolitan area. And I spoke to him and said, I really want to help Habitat. And he was as much a humanitarian. He loves humanitarian projects like I do. Really likes them. He says, okay, Bobby, come back and see me next week. I go back into his office, and he made a 25-lot subdivision donation to Habitat for Humanity. So I'm happy to say that back then that was probably about $250,000 donation I was able to get from my good local friend, Alex Alexander. And we were also able to do the first subdivision for Habitat for Humanity in the Richmond area, and I believe nationally at that point in time they had not done subdivisions. But I was able to, with these donations, we were able to say, hey, this is the best way to go. Eventually ended up working very well for the recipients to get the housing together so people could get the housing. We could get all the contractors together at one time. We were able to move things much quicker. And today I think Habitat for Humanity for sure doing subdivisions much more up on the priority schedule, where when I walked in it wasn't even on the agenda whatsoever.
Wow, that's pretty good. You know, that's really nice when you do things for people like that. And I see you're a board member of Caritas. Is that correct?
Certainly, and let me explain Caritas.
Caritas.
Certainly.
That's New York. That's New York. Caritas. No.
Well, Caritas two ways, but Catholics, it's a word for charity, but the Caritas in Richmond actually stands for congregations around Richmond involved to assure shelter. And when I stepped on at that time, Caritas was providing shelter to those individuals who were unemployed, needed assistance, financial disabilities, 6 months a year. I walked onto the board, we decided we were going to change that. There were enough women and children on the streets, we had to do something. We wanted to have it open 12 months a year, not 6 months a year. So Rodney, I'm happy to say, and we went through quite a bit, but after 4 years, Caritas in the Richmond area was open 12 months a year, 365 days a year, especially to any women and children on the streets. We wanted to make sure they had a place to sleep and they were safe, and that they could start to take the right steps they needed to in life.
That's another nice thing. You know, you do a lot of nice things. Economics for Partnership, Q Factor, roads and parks and maintenance. You've done a lot of nice things for people here in the Richmond area. And I also know that you were associated with Doug Weiler. He was a great governor and a great mayor. I admired this guy. Every time I've seen him, I don't know him, but he just set me as just a great person. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Certainly. Rodney, sometimes in life we have to do things, or we're employed by somebody, and other times other individuals end up in our circle or we end up in their circle. This was certainly the case, and I was very beneficial here to be part of Doug Weiler's campaign when he ran for governor. And for those who may be listening out of state, Doug Weiler was actually the first Afro-American governor for the state of Virginia. And I was able to be part of his campaign at that time. And we didn't know what was going to happen. Be frank with you, as I got on board with the campaign committee, I thought it was going to be quite a struggle, quite a fight. But this is where Doug's skills, his political skills, his ability to reach out and work with other individuals, not only his party, but other parties and independents, Afro-Americans as well as whites. My goodness, I was very, very fortunate and lucky to be able to experience someone of this level of skills. And I'm still amiss why he never ran for U.S. Senator, because he certainly had the skills and could have done this.
He sure have got it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's just something about him. He's a very special person. Let me ask you about your qualifications as far as education. What did you do for college and so on and so forth?
Certainly, it's quite a road. Started off as most individuals do after high school. Went to Hampton-Sydney, which is a small college. And I didn't know at that time, but at Hampton-Sydney with such small classes, the professor can really hone down on you. Really, it's not like you have 30 people in a class, 30 to 50 individuals in your class. Our typical class size back then was about 15 or 18. And the professor could really hone down to make sure that if you were taking English at that point stage of the time, you were going to learn how to write papers, you were going to learn how to speak. The math courses, my goodness, the professor, we were taking calculus and advanced statistics, and this one will really get you. Computers had just come out, and the computer we worked on, we had to type each card. So my computer programming, you really were a software programmer, 250 to 500 cards per program. But let me say this, you certainly learned what it was like to write software and what software was about. And my goodness, we learned these skills in college at that young age before we actually hit the market. We were advanced, more advanced than most individuals didn't even know how to type on a computer, and we benefited by that, to be on the front end of the computer age and technology, information age.
Wow. And you went on further than that. What was your next step?
Well, later, I was seeing how I was actually doing some contracting work, and I was seeing how these other big companies, my goodness, how they were turning things over. We were doing well, but my goodness, not like these big companies were. Philip Morris, I could see every day. My good friend Irving Joel was the owner of AJD, hat cap manufacturer. And when I was younger, I used to work in there, and Mr. Joel, my goodness, must have had about 350 people, employees there. And I said, well, Bobby, what's lacking? What's missing? And I finally said, you probably need to go to get a master's degree in business. So I actually went to VCU here in the Richmond area. And at that time, the name had just changed from RPI to VCU. So we went to the business school there, and I really picked up quite a bit, Rodney, the marketing program there. The computer skills continued to grow with, but marketing was what I was really lacking. And for me to take that next step, to be able to even look at employing people from 10 to 50, your marketing program had to be solid. And this is really what I picked up at VCU, was marketing skills.
I see. Kept you pretty busy, huh?
Very, very. Dr. Boykin actually got a degree in real estate and urban land development.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
Certainly. This is what started me off getting back into development. I was able to say that later in life, when I was project director at Habitat for Humanity, I had picked up bulk skills there. And also later when I campaigned for Pat, I was being able to see you come in from the base with real estate development. You take the virgin nature pure site and you flip that site. And you have to go through the planning process, so you have to learn a little bit of the political ploy. You had to work with different neighbors. You had to bring in water and sewer. You had to work with the banks. All of a sudden I could see you could bring in all these different pieces and you could flip the piece. And later, I didn't see this on the front end, but later in my political life I could see this. Politics is very similar to real estate development. You could actually come and you need to get the different pieces of the puzzle. Important though is that you are able to deploy each piece of the puzzle when and where and as you see fit. I think this will give someone their political skills. Some politicians are much better at this than others. And to be frank with you, you can learn as much by losing in politics, hopefully, because this is what you learn. To me, I've always, even if the campaign was fledgling, you needed to find out why it was fledgling. You needed to get it, take the concept and get the plane in the air, get the right foot forward to get the campaign moving.
Well, there. Hey, well, I'm glad that we had this meeting, and from what I see, you definitely have some potential. I know your acquaintance, you're a pretty good fellow. Thanks for a lot for being on here. And we'll see how it goes, and we'll be putting out more videos like this. Thanks a lot, Bobby Junebug.
I want to say thank you. I've enjoyed this immensely, and as an interviewee, this is going to hopefully. I will try to get this into the campaign. I think this is an element that we need to let the public hear where we are and where we're coming from.
There you go. Good night, Bobby Junebug.
Thank you.
Come here, you little bugger. Dog, my little white thing. Let's see, I got some. I'll have to just cut it off.
Okay, that's fine.
Edit it. Come on.
I thought I saw the flipper.
Is
You're
that
looking for a little flipper is what you're looking
it?
for?
Yeah, I can't find him. Bobby, help.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there he is. I just saw him.
Okay.
Nope, I didn't. Oh,
There it is, right there, right there.
Dude, get over here, you little bugger.
Yeah.
This is the best part of them.
See the development skills here?
Doink, doink, doink. Just stop.
You know, I think it's trying to tell us this is a good interview. Sorry. Okay. I don't think you'd be running.
There, you little bugger. There, well, we can cut him off there. Look, here's your problem, little bugger.